How's everyone doing? Welcome to the podcast. My name's Alex.
My name's Weston.
We're going to take you on a sonic journey of lovemaking.
But that's not like that. It has to be a phileo lovemaking.
If you don't believe in secularity of any sort and are sort of tied down by religious teachings that prohibit you from having sexual intercourse with people before marriage, why don't you come with us?
This is the podcast for you.
Why don't you come with us and we'll show you what it's like. I want you to light some candles and... Okay, fuck this bit. Okay, let's just go right into it. Okay. Hi, I'm SlickpachoCast. This is Gaz, also known as Alex and Weston.
And this is legitimately like the third take we've tried doing on this episode of the podcast. It was a very...
It's like the fourth.
Yeah, realistically it is the fourth, but this is the fourth take that's made any progress. We tried to have a guest speaker on here, but he just kind of sat and made noise and played his bass the whole time. So didn't really work out. Love you, McLaren.
He'll probably listen to this later, and he'll be upset about it, but it's cool.
Oh well.
There was a really good section in that podcast attempt where he was playing a bass lines from Queens of the Stone Age songs, and he's like, "Okay, I want you to guess which one this is," but I didn't get a single one of them. And Weston was just like, "This is the worst podcast," so we started over.
I already scrapped the audio, so there's no hope for any bloopers or anything, unless maybe you got it, but. I don't know.
I deleted it.
No, yeah. All right. So that's lost to the wind. But anyways.
Hey man, whatever happened to Ratboy Genius?
Did he stop making videos?
No, I'm gonna check right now because I think that he's still making videos.
I was gonna say because he kind of just wasn't Potato Knishes his whole big thing.
Hey, wouldn't you say that his big thing was being in a major motion picture? For those of you who don't know, he was in Gattaca. Which is this awesome eugenics movie starring Jude Law and some other guy who I don't know who he is, who kind of looks like Benedict Cumbersnatch, and Uma Thurman, who...
Cumbersnatch?
Look, let me tell you, Uma Thurman looks so hot in that movie, dude. Go look at it. Go look up Uma Thurman Gattaca right now. Do it.
Uma Thurman Gattaca?
Damn, what an interesting looking lady.
She's a handsome woman.
She is a handsome woman. Anyway... Ratboy Genius was in the piano scene of that movie where he has like 6 fingers on one hand or some crap. Then he went on to make these... Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Look up Ratboy Genius, Gattaca.
Is it in the concert scene? And he's on the piano?
Yeah, he's playing the piano.
That's him?
Yeah, that's him.
What?
Yo, Gattaca's a fucking movie. I know that you haven't seen it, but I highly recommend it. That's a really interesting, it's an interesting take on... kind of what a lot of people have been encouraging to be a good idea. The idea behind kind of rooting out really crappy genes with superior, maybe unnatural breeding, perhaps. I don't know how to articulate it well. But I talked to a lot of coworkers who are on board with the idea of controlled births that way, where basically when you come out, you have absolutely no genetic deficiencies, which is the idea behind Gattaca, although... In Gattaca, there's tribalism because there are people who were conceived normally and happen to have a bunch of problems, and they're considered invalids. And then there are people who are conceived with the new wave genetic thing, and they're considered just normal people. The invalids don't get to work in the same environments as them. They don't get the same opportunities. It's a kind of a new version of segregation, and I think that's an interesting take on it. It's obviously just a drama. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, it changed my way of thinking. It's just a good movie. And it's also fun to talk about. So, there's lots of people out there who are into the gene stuff. And I don't know. I think it's very interesting to bring that movie up. Because I don't know crap I don't study genetics at all. So whenever people are like, yeah, dude, it's an interesting field. I'm like, yeah, dude, I saw Gattaca. That shit was dope.
There's actually quite a few movies that I've never seen. I know that I need to see... Sorry, I can't even talk. I need to see the Back to the Future trilogy. I've heard that the first one...
Have you never seen You've never seen Back to the Future, dude?
I've never seen Back to the Future.
We should watch it and then have a podcast. There's so much to talk about in that movie.
We'll do a podcast after I see it, and we'll talk about it. And Gattaca, that's another one that I haven't seen yet. Gattaca is a movie that I've never seen, but I've been needing to watch more movies, so I'll probably find some not so legal way to watch it. But I don't know. I kind of like settings like that where it's like it's not necessarily post-apocalyptic, but it's like in a really, really jacked up future.
Gattaca?
I kind of got a thing for movies like that.
Oh, then you'd love Gattaca, dude. Weston, don't tell anybody I told you about this. Actually, no, I shouldn't say it because that's shedding a light. Well, you know what?
What?
I don't know how many. I don't know how. I'm just gonna say /r/full movies on Vimeo. That's all I'll say. Moving on.
Okay.
let's watch some Ratboy Genius.
Right now?
Yeah.
I don't think I want to watch Ratboy Genius.
Just listen.
Dear diary, I have had a lot to think about since my meeting with Caterpillar.
Okay, that's
Did you hear what he said?
Barely.
Did you hear? I have had a lot to think about since my meeting with Caterpillar Minister. Now, Weston, I gotta tell you something about Ratboy Genius.
Is Caterpillar Minister like is that like his alter ego?
I don't know. This is just the most recent video. It's the flood. It looks like Minecraft, just like the infamous Potato Knishes one. That's Ratboy Genius Dreams Minecraft, I believe, and I actually watched a good portion of that. I gotta tell you, dude, I actually unironically like Ratboy Genius in like a really weird way. Like,
why?
Well, just watch his videos, dude. It transports you to this freaking surreal. You don't know what's going on. It's so weird. It's like being on drugs, except you don't have to be.
A poorly animated rat can just give you a third eye-opening experience.
I'll put the link to this video in the description.
I'm just gonna plug Ratboy Genius.
He showed me some fantastic magic, like that I can have the magic too.
Okay, do you have your phone with you? Because I want to send you a screenshot of what I'm looking at right now.
Some fantastic magic.
I'm looking at Ratboy Genius right now.
Okay, I'm gonna text you the screenshot because holy shit, he's like stretching his neck out.
It's odd to me that he still makes videos.
What else is he gonna do?
They still get like
he probably doesn't
quite a bit.
He probably
views.
doesn't have a job. Okay, so you know how we had the lot.
I think that's the dream.
You know how we had the
live. Like I think I want to just be able to make poorly animated rat videos and make a living.
Remember how we had the Lime Popsicle on our channel when we were teenagers?
I do remember.
When I found out that Lime Popsicle was actually going to talk to us, I was pretty that was pretty wild. How hard do you think it would be to get?
Is that video still up?
Yeah, it's still up. It's great because Lime Popsicle is he's one of the greatest people. He's just like beaming with positivity, which is a positive spin on a channel where the kids are 12 years old and talking about gangbanging, and later on it kind of digresses into this sort of cynical sense of humor that has absolutely no optimistic viewpoints. You get Lime Popsicle on the mix, and you have this kind of feeling of good that has never been on the channel. Anyway, how hard do you think it would be to get Ratboy Genius to do an interview with us?
I don't know, but that's actually a field that I've really been wanting to go into. Something on our channel.
Why's that?
I have been wanting to do interviews for the longest time, and I am so glad to hear you say that, because that is honestly a field that I would love to explore on our channel. And to everyone out there, I know that it's been like 2 months since we uploaded our update video, and we still haven't put anything out. We're still kind of trying to work on getting our, like, a little setup kind of going so that he can commentate on a video or something in near real time, or we're just, like, considering doing post-commentary and scrapping that altogether. If any of you guys have used Mixer before for anything like that, it's like a live streaming service with little to no delay. I don't know how many people out there would have used it, but if you guys have, like, any input on Mixer, please, like, let us know, because we're thinking of ways to do more content, and we're, like, trying to split off and, like, not necessarily confine ourselves to doing gaming videos, but...
Look, my idea was that we would do a cooking channel, just so we could keep putting content out. I don't want to say that I'm trying to make it so the content that we push out is just stuff that's easy to make, which, you know, now that I say that out loud, it makes it sound like I'm saying that making YouTube that makes it sound like Let's Plays is hard, and it's not. It's really not.
Making a Let's Play
because
it's not hard, but it's given our
you get those
situation...
You get those people who say that it is, though. Like, people get really entitled.
But it's really not.
People take dumps all over people's, like, Let's Plays, and they're like, I worked really hard on this. It's my passion. It's my hobby. Well, good, dude. Like,
more power to you.
not everybody likes fishing. I like fishing. You know, it's that's a stupid example,
You know,
but
realistically, has our channel ever been like a Let's Play channel?
well,
Like,
what would you constitute a Let's Play channel as?
we're not doing like legitimate playthroughs of games. We're just like playing through and cheating our way through video games. Like,
we cheat our way through video games, and then when we get bored, we just stop. We
don't do the series anymore. Like,
yeah.
I guess you could consider it a Let's Play channel, but not a conventional one. Just because we kind of
I don't think
do whatever.
I don't think
we
that's
want.
a bad
like,
thing, though. I don't think that's
no,
bad.
not at all. I know that a lot of people want us to continue the Ocarina of Time rebooted series, but I feel like at that point we're just kind of like kicking a dead horse. Like,
that's how I feel, dude.
Like, we can't just keep doing Ocarina of Time videos. Like,
well, that's like the thing is, if you're one of those people who saw our original stuff and for some reason liked it, then they probably have like a nostalgia bias for it, and they're kind of narrow-minded and opening themselves up to new content, which I can kind of understand. I definitely think that you should give other stuff a chance, because I really, really don't think that Four Swords is where we peaked.
Oh,
like,
not at all.
Maybe in terms of viewing, but those are some of the worst videos you will ever watch in your whole life. Watch other stuff. Listen to these podcasts.
Just a couple of kids having a fun time.
Listen to these podcasts, because the audience for the podcast isn't where I want it to be, and that stinks, because these are really easy to make and they're a lot of fun, and we get to watch Ratboy Genius.
There's nothing that really beats that. But like, I was kind of watching through some of our old videos the other day, and like, I was laughing, but I wasn't laughing with ourselves. I was laughing at us because of how dumb we were. Just the stuff that
I
we
watched
would
some
say.
of the first episode of this podcast was basically us going back, watching the old episodes and laughing at it, which I think was a great way to start it off.
I think that was a healthy thing.
It's a retrospective look on something that's actually terrible, but we had so much fun with it. Like, how many people have that story where they're like, yeah, when we were kids, we would record videos. You can actually go on YouTube and watch it. Like, it's too good. It's too good.
See, I want to do more videos that were kind of like our Pepsi Man one-off.
Yeah, although I don't think Pepsi Man was that great of a video. I like the fact that it's there. I like the fact that the Pepsi Man video is there to remind people that we're alive, but I think that we can do a lot better. I don't like the way that I edited it. I don't really like how we kind of talked about we were talking a lot without talking about anything, which I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of room for improvement, But Pepsi Man, like, I want to do some more stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, it's just the concept, like, stuff that's not exactly a full walkthrough of a game. Like, I remember there was one comment. Let me go to our update video. Let me find it. I want to read this word for word because I really, really like this. It said, you don't have to drive... You don't have to drive to each other's houses to record. You can just play co-op games like Battle Block Theater or Ultimate Chicken Horse on Steam and talk through Discord while one of you records the gameplay. Then you can edit the video to show highlights of the gameplay where it was most funny. I feel like you guys would be good at that. And that's something that I really, really want to do on our channel.
Who said that?
Not necessarily just do full playthrough. Well, not full playthroughs, like half-assed playthroughs of tired games. Like, you know what I mean.
But the half-assedness of the channel is part of why it's good, in my opinion. I think that. Can you hear me? Okay. Hello.
You cut out a little bit. No, you cut out.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, they're gonna be able to hear you, but I couldn't.
Okay. Anyway. Crap. What was I talking about? I think that. Kind of, we got new artwork on the way. We're gonna start doing thumbnails. Speaking of which, I don't know. Brayley needs to finish that project that we need, because that's gonna be a good video. I think
we got a video coming up that we hope you guys will. So
I think that classing everything up a bit, making it look nice, cleaning up the whole artwork of the channel, making us a little bit more organized while retaining some of the stupidity, like. The second we start taking ourselves seriously is when this channel tanks. And I don't just mean in views, because it's not like anyone's watching right now anyway. But I mean, like, it's just like, when people find it, I want people to think, wow, this is exceptional. Not, this sucks, and it's like everything else,
Yeah.
And part of that,
we definitely want to do something that, like, kind of sets us apart. And, like, that's always kind of been our goal. Like, on our channel, you go to our About page, and it says the SlickpachoCast 1460. We do Let's Plays and geared towards things people haven't seen before. That's always kind of been, like, sort of what we wanted to do with the channel. Is we wanted to do things
I remember.
that have never.
I remember
been.
our original agenda was something like we want to do.
We wanted to play like ROM hacks
mods
and stuff like that.
Yeah, we kind of kept with that for a while because our first 3 Let's Plays were Four Swords hack, the Banjo Tooie thing, and Sonic 2 Heroes. And then after that, we just kind of started we did that stupid Skyward Sword Let's Play, which
that was a.
It's not even the worst. It's not even the worst Let's Play on the channel. It's probably just the worst Let's Play. And we did. I did a stupid thing, which I cringe watching the video. Journey to the Ether, for Minecraft. It was a Minecraft mod for AdventureCraft or something that I wanted to do, and that was terrible. And it felt so gimmicky at that point. So I don't think that we should be tied down to anything like that. But like you said, if we kind of just aim, if we aim towards making stuff that's unique in some way, we can kind of make it cool without being gimmicky, you know?
Exactly. And not only that, but our goal is we I just stuttered so much. We want to be entertaining. We want to be fun to watch. For those who actually manage to sit and listen through our podcasts, we want to be an entertaining channel that you guys can come and watch. It doesn't have to necessarily be restricted to gaming videos.
And so far, I love our podcast. This is probably the most. This is probably a podcast where we've talked about not necessarily serious stuff, but kind of been more analytical than the other ones. Because our first podcast was over an hour of us laughing at ourselves, and I thought that was a freaking riot. Our second podcast, it was a little rough around the edges, but it was just kind of Josh and some of my coworkers from my past city having a great time for one of the last times, because I moved shortly after that. So I think that's a really special podcast to me, and I also think that we had some funny conversations, and that's what I want this channel to keep doing. And I said that I wanted to have more podcasts with more people, but I kind of forgot about it and moved to the back of my head. Plus, it's kind of a weird thing to bring up around people. It's hey, let's do a podcast.
I mean, that's our that was our After Hours podcast, because we did that. We had the original podcast series that we did. We did 3 episodes of them.
Yeah, this is After Hours, but we did one.
Yeah, we had
the crux.
We had movies and things where we discussed Adam Sandler.
Okay, that's right, because we had Adam Sandler on the front of it.
The Chronicles of Jake, and then Road Trip. Yes,
Chronicles of Jake was my favorite.
That was a very good podcast, but
I think it's unlisted. I think it's unlisted now. We should probably we could put the links to them in the description.
I don't think they're actually. Wait, yeah,
I enlisted a lot. I enlisted a lot of our stuff, dude. There's nothing on the channel anymore except for a few things.
Yeah, I'm I don't know how many of you guys actually remember the music videos that I put out. I want to start doing more covers, if that's something you guys would be interested in. That's something that I really want to explore a little bit more. Yeah,
and I'd love to make short films. Jake is going to be moving up to where I live. He's a friend of ours. He was in the second podcast, and he's a film junkie just like me. So I think that we could have a lot of fun making videos before. In fact, if Justin's cool with this, and he probably will be, we should link his channel, because he uploaded this Let's do a sneak peek of that video. We'll take a break from Ratboy Genius. We're gonna go back to it, Weston. I know that you hate it. I want you to listen to this.
I don't want to go to Ratboy Genius.
I know you don't, but we have to do it. I forget what the name of it is.
We're gonna be playing this alongside. We'll do a little video, a little picture-in-picture type thing. We'll just steal Justin's content instead.
And if Justin's cool with us linking this, okay, this is Sonic the Hedgehog ASMR adventure, calm and peaceful.
What? What?
Have you seen the video where they're cooking Josh in a human bathtub?
I see it on his channel right now.
Okay, it's called Human Bathtub Soup. Okay, if he lets us... An unprofessional love, Jake is talking to... I forget his name now, I feel like a jackass. Scott. He was talking to Scott, and he's just I want you in my life. I'm in love with you. And he's I'm your professor. We can't be in love. It's just they're not high quality at all. They're just stupid videos. But I think that tier of shitty video is something that I'd love to have on SlickpachoCast, and I want Justin and Jake to help me. And Justin, I want your channel to be seen by the world. Justin comments on almost all of our videos, by the way, saying something like "gay" or "this sucks," something like that.
I was gonna say I don't really think that's relevant just because of how scarce our uploads are. But the point is, he is there. Yeah, like looking at our upload track. We have Pepsi Man, which was 8 months ago. And then I did a live stream which got saved, which was 5 months ago. Yeah. And then
I haven't watched that.
Don't. And then our update video,
why not?
Which was released 2 months ago. So like he's there, but
can we watch more Ratboy?
I don't want no more Ratboy.
No.
No Ratboy. Please no Ratboy. I do not consent to Ratboy. No. I'm being held against my will, forced to listen to Ratboy Genius.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this whole thing later. I'm gonna start with episode 1.
There's a time and a place for everything. This is not the time or place for Ratboy Genius.
Weston, I'm not even kidding. I eat this shit up with a spoon. I cannot. I don't know why I like it, but I do. It's so great. Like, it's just like, I love stuff that's so weird like that.
You know, why couldn't Ratboy Genius videos have been the videos to show up on YouTube Kids instead of like the really disturbing stuff?
I don't know. I think that I would show kids Ratboy Genius. There's nothing like bad about them.
That's why I'm saying, like, couldn't Ratboy Genius show up instead of like the weird, like, you know, like Spider-Man and Elsa being hogtied.
Ratboy Genius puts like disclaimers on some of the videos where like Ratboy says something like idiot or jerk. Like, he puts like, there's some scary language, and like Ratboy is like, you're a jerk, and it's like, wow, that's terrible. He cares. He wants it to be able. He wants people to be like. He wants everybody to be able to watch it.
Let's make this our mission. We're gonna contact Ratboy Genius.
I'm gonna do it right now.
We're gonna ask him for an interview.
Can you take over for a second? I'm gonna try and get a hold of Ratboy.
Yeah, I will gladly take over.
Okay.
Thing with Ratboy Genius,
what do we have
it's
on
not going to be an easy task.
What do we have on our topics here?
What's even his Twitter? Is it just at Ratboy Genius?
Does he have a Twitter?
I don't know.
Yeah, he does.
I found one, but I don't know if it's his or not. It's not verified. But
yeah, I don't know if this is legit. But he does fan art on it. I think this might be him. Yeah, because Chris O'Neill is following him, and I think that it's him. It's got to be him. Ratboy Genius.
I'm surprised he only has like 2,500 followers.
It's a kind of a niche market, I guess.
It could be one of those channels where it's just like the same people watch the videos over and over and over.
Well, I bet. I mean, a lot of the people that like his stuff are probably closet fans like me. You know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't follow him on Twitter, but I like checking into his videos sometimes.
Yeah, dude. Let's see if we can. He has open DMs. Want to slide in those?
Yeah, I'll send him a message.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a response back on this podcast. That'd be but don't count on it.
Let's use our SlickpachoCast Twitter account to do it.
Oh boy, does that even still exist?
We can do that later. I don't know, but we should revamp it, make it look good as shit.
Let's just wipe all the previous tweets from it.
Yeah, let's do it.
And I think that's a wonderful idea.
Okay, it's decided.
So, how has Ripple been taking off?
I don't know. I haven't looked at Ripple at all.
Dog, let's check it out.
It's only been a few days. I'm not expecting it to go up by that much. I hope it doesn't go up that much either, because I want to buy some more.
Yeah, of course.
For those of you who don't know, Ripple is a cryptocurrency that I have some investments in. I also have. I don't like talking about it on a podcast, but I have a little bit of Bitcoin and a little bit of Litecoin. Crypto is wild. I hope it doesn't crash, because I have a lot of money in there. So hopefully I can get rich off of it. I had my cousin over for dinner, because we had my mom's side of the family over for Christmas. By the way, my mom's side of the family, awesome people. I like them more than my dad's side. Sorry, dad's side. Anyway, so my cousin was saying something like he's kind of on the path to success because he got his MBA, and I don't know, he's doing computer science stuff or something, and he's talking about how rich he's going to be. I don't know if he's just talking. He might be full of shit. But basically what he was saying is like, you know, he's kind of a religious guy. A lot of my family is like that. It's weird to say it out loud to people who aren't jiggy with it, you know, jiggy. But it's not necessarily weird to people like me because I grew up around these kind of people. But he said stuff like, oh, you know, I don't want to lose track of the Lord. when I become rich. And I'm just like, dude, N-word. What? Like, I can understand people being worried that they're going to get corrupted because it happens to people all the time. But I honestly, like, I would never be worried on a road to success that I would become corrupt because I'm so, like, I don't know, this is a personal thing. I feel like I'm in touch enough with myself where I would know, like, I kind of know exactly what makes me happy. And I know that money would not make me happy alone, but money enabling me to do things that I find enjoyable would kind of keep me happy, and happiness is kind of what stops you from becoming like a piece of shit. So like if you're working in a fancy restaurant and people are being snobs towards you, right off the bat you're probably taking that as, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. They are pieces of shit, but were they always like that? That's the question. Sometimes when people are born into families that are wealthy and have snobbish tendencies, they've been like that their entire lives, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is, I thought it was interesting to hear somebody who, he's a family member of mine. He's very well-to-do, basically talk about how he's afraid that he's going to lose himself with all the money he's going to get. And I'm just like, dude, like, it's 2017, dude. It's so easy to donate to the charities of your choice. You don't necessarily have to, like, stress about having too much money, because if you have more money than you know what to do with, the best thing that you can do is be charitable with it. And now I sound like a fucking Mormon like the rest of them, but that's the best part of Mormons and religious people in general, is that they give a shit about people and they want to do service, and not necessarily just serving people in getting everybody to be Mormon as possible, but getting people to be Mormon as possible and helping them out with their funds, like they care. And that's an important part of becoming a rich person, I think. And he agreed with me on that one. It's just like, dude, if you donate to charities, if there's an ounce of you, even denial or otherwise, that thinks that you're doing the right thing, you might be able to stop yourself from becoming corrupt and your soul going to hell, which I wouldn't be as worried about as him if that were me. But, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like I don't necessarily think it would be money that would cause someone to lose themselves. Like, don't get me wrong, they would totally be enabled to do all kinds of crazy shit and, like, throw their life off track. But
yeah, cocaine.
I feel like that would be more of your own kind of decision making. You know what I mean? Like, well,
sure, but like, stuff happens.
Like being enabled.
You don't think about it.
Being enabled is one thing, but, like, I don't know. I don't feel like if you become rich, you suddenly just lose touch with reality and start becoming a terrible person and think that you're better than everyone else.
I'm sure it happens gradually. Like, I don't know. Like, I seriously, like, to go back to the thing where I said it was neither here nor there, about people being raised into families, that's actually not neither here nor there. It's actually here and there. Because what I didn't realize is that a lot of people who are fucked up come from generations of people who are fucked up. And these fucked up people also have money. So, I may be talking out of my ass here. People may think that I am acting entitled here. I come from a middle class family. Yeah. My parents like to pretend that they're rich. They drink a lot of Pellegrino and Perrier, and they have, like, really snobby opinions about furnishings and stuff. And this is all rubbed off on me in a big bad way. And a lot of people think I'm annoying because of it. But I don't think that I have kind of like that immense sort of, like, distaste for humanity that a lot of rich people have. That they don't tell you about, like, when you talk to them.
You're not like a dickhead about things. If that's any consolation.
No. Thank you. And a lot of rich people are dickheads about, like, things. And where I'm trying to remember where I was going with that. I kind of got lost in my train of thought. Essentially, yes, I think that the root of bad is kind of your upbringing, and so that's why I don't necessarily think that my cousin, who is seriously such a good dude, is gonna freaking just be on a freaking rampage to hell like he thinks he's gonna be just because he has money. Like, I don't know, though. He could, like, in 10 years, I could, like, hit him up, be like, yo, what's up? And he's like, what's up, dude? You come to this fucking Coke party? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm coming. Of course, there's gonna be Coke, but I thought that you were gonna, not do this, man. That's not you. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you look at any sort of rise and fall story. Like, take a look at Goodfellas, for example, right?
Oh my God, we gotta. I'm so glad you brought up Goodfellas.
Dude gets in, right? He's living the good life. He's got it made. But it's just like, I guess no, that's kind of a bad example. I'll use the Wolf of Wall Street here.
Yeah, Goodfellas is... I don't think Goodfellas is a good example because from the start of the movie, he's freaking hooked up with the mob, which is, like, obviously going to be bad.
I feel like the Wolf of Wall Street here will be a better...
Yeah.
Dude gets in, he's living well. Like, he's well off. And he's just greedy. Wants more and more and more.
Yes,
and then
greed.
He starts doing all sorts of crazy shit that he shouldn't be doing.
I can honestly
I'm not
say...
going to explaining. I haven't seen the movie in a while, but, like...
No, I haven't seen it at all, but I get the spirit of what you're saying. And I can only speak for myself here, of course, but I think that...
I feel like you kind of just need to know where to say, like, I'm good. I'm set. You know
yes,
what I mean?
exactly. Being content is an important component to being happy. I think that always wanting something more... And I don't think this is like... A lot of psychologists will probably agree with me on this one, that wanting more and more is unhealthy. But I don't think it's a bad idea to have, like, desires. Like,
of course not.
I think that this is way far in the future.
Dreams,
this is way far in the future, but I'd love to be married. I don't know if I want kids, but I'd love to be married. I'd love to have somebody that I could do all my stupid stuff with, like traveling and watching movies all the time. And, you know, money is kind of how you do that. If you have a lot of money, you're able to travel a lot. I wouldn't even mind blowing it all. I just want to have enough to be comfortable, you know?
And that's just what I was going to lead to. Is I don't want to live like a super lavish lifestyle. I just want to be comfy. Like, I just want to do what I want to do.
If there's a component, if there's a certain part of lavishness that you need to have in order to be happy, I think that's fine too.
No, but
like,
I'm talking like having a bunch of unnecessary garbage. Like,
okay, like what?
The latest.
Let's be specific.
Like, I don't think you necessarily need the latest technology to be happy. Like,
sure, and I was just thinking about this the other day.
I don't want like a giant ass TV that I'm never gonna use. Like, I don't want a super fancy car that is costing me a ton of money. Like, the older I'm getting, I'm just kind of realizing, like, hey, maybe I don't need to spend money to have the newest iPhone. Maybe I should put this towards something else.
You don't, and that's what I'm gonna say here. Is when I was in high school, I kind of always have been this like huge Apple fan, and you kind of noticed that, right?
Yeah.
So when I was in high school, I kind of always wanted to have the newest phone, and I felt left out when I didn't have the newest phone, even though it was kind of a hypocritical viewpoint, because one of my mantras in high school is that not fitting in was a good thing, and I kind of felt superior to my peers because I was kind of a shitty person in high school. But still, I was just like, I gotta be ahead of the curve. Like, whenever I had the newest phone, I would feel like a badass. I'm so glad to say that I grew out of that, because I've had the 6S since like I got it, and I've had like no desire to upgrade because it just kind of works. And when it stops working, I'll probably buy an older phone. And
it fits what you need right now.
It fits what I need right now. Like, there's nothing, like, thankfully.
When it comes time to upgrade, like, let's say that your phone shits the bed and you need a new one, right? Like,
I'd probably just get a new 6S.
You could do that, but I would say, like, at that point, I feel like there wouldn't really be any shame in getting, like, not necessarily the newest model, but a newer model when the price is.
There's no shame in it, slightly. But I could, if there's no shame, but if I could spend less, that'd be better.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Like, I feel like people are just kind of too quick to be, like, they want to be trendy, I guess. They want to be with what's in.
Yes, and Apple is the epitome of trendiness, which I'm not on board with because I prefer function over form. And I think that a lot of their older stuff works really well, and they're kind of leaving that behind by just kind of sprucing it up in stupid ways. The iPhone 10 is so ugly, and people think it's great because it's got that huge screen, and that just seems excessive to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've never been a fan of like the plus models of iPhone. It's just like, it's just too big.
They're huge and they're ugly, and I hate them. And Steve Jobs was always against that shit. He never wanted big phones. He always wanted them to be smaller.
And you know, speaking of like new phones and stuff, I feel like they just kind of tweak the interface a little bit and like add a couple like little bits of gimmicky software, like your phone can be unlocked by your face. Unless you're Asian, then any Asian person can unlock your phone. Like, there was did you hear about that?
What?
There was like some girl that wanted to, like, she was Asian, but her sister was able to unlock her phone as well.
That's because all Asians look the same.
It's like
joke.
It's gimmicky technology. I figured, but it's gimmicky technology that doesn't really like have a purpose. It's like Touch ID. Touch ID is cool.
if they had Face ID right after slide to unlock, maybe. But biometric authentication isn't necessarily something that you need to change to something else in order to say that you made an improvement. Obviously, the technology is more advanced and more sophisticated, but you know, it's just like, would you rather have like a thumbprint or your face? Like, I mean, that's people say that the face is better because they have the new phone. Like, I don't give it. Like, who gives a shit? It's not
like.
Well, it's just like, it's not an advancement because it's not that much faster. Well, because like it's a little bit faster, and you could say that it's an advancement in that way, but it's not making your life that much easier because it's not like the thumbprint thing was ever that hard. So like they're moving away quickly, in my opinion, from kind of like the function. Like every new iPhone that they came out with would have like a sweeter camera. I'm pretty sure that they're still doing that, but I don't think that the rates of camera improvements have been like incredible. Like maybe I'm wrong, but you know, when the first iPhone came out, it had a piece of shit camera. The next one had a great camera that you could shoot with, you could shoot videos with, and it just kept going from there. Now I feel like they're not making substantial improvements anymore.
I'm looking at the iPhone X right now. This is looks like a Samsung phone. Like
it does.
One thing that I always kind of recognized the iPhone by was like the little speaker on the top and the little button at the bottom. Like it just kind of had that signature look. I know that's kind of generic to say, but like
Apple has been making its new products kind of unrecognizable. The new Mac Pro kind of looks like an iMac still, but their new MacBooks look like Dells. Like the thing on the back doesn't light up anymore when you open them. This sounds super nitpicky, but seriously, like the way that they look, the form that they changed to, making it so you could have like black ones too, they look like fucking Windows computers. And like the whole point of paying super amounts of money for a cool looking laptop is that you have a cool looking laptop. And now they look like shit. So it's stupid what they're doing, and I don't like it. They're making all of their stuff, they're kind of moving away. And like, I'm not saying don't change it. I'm just saying change it in a way that still makes it look cool. I don't like the way that the new ones look, and that might just be me, but because I feel like I'm really on my soapbox here over something stupid, and I feel like people are going to lash out on me if they care. But I really don't like the way that it look. /r/Apple would be like, they would hate this, I bet. They're just like, what are you talking about? But
I just feel like a lot of the time there's just unnecessary changes don't need to happen.
Change is not a bad thing, but when it doesn't actually improve it, then that's bad change.
Exactly. See, I like the current iOS that we're on. I've lost track of what version. Don't pay attention. But
I think we're on iOS 10.
I'm going to use an example here.
Or 11.
I'm going to use an example here that is very near and dear to my heart. The Skype mobile app. This thing, just Skype in general, has gone so downhill. It's not even funny at this point. Like, I don't know what they're trying to go for. Like, it's just a mess here. Like, looking at it, you see Cortana. It's like, okay, that's Microsoft's whole thing. Like, whatever. You're going to see her there. But, like, this whole chats thing is just, like, I don't know, you have to go to like, the Skype app has been bad for a while, you know?
Yeah, I remember, I had Skype back in the day when it was kind of like, it was never good, but you could kind of like, the tabs at the bottom had like contacts, like messages or whatever. It was kind of easier to use, even though it looked ugly. Then everybody kind of got on board with that. System? They got on board with that, like, minimalist design that everybody's using now, but, it just sucks in the new one because you can't figure out where anything is. Hulu has the same problem. The new Hulu interface is fucking shitty on mobile, and I hate it.
I haven't seen interface.
It sucks. There's like this really bad feature on the Hulu mobile thing. This sucks because like you can... What I do with my phone, I don't know if anyone else does this, but when they're watching something like Netflix on their phone or the tablet, I'll see smudges on the screen, and I'll want to wipe them off. But Hulu has this scrubbing that it takes over all of the screen because you can like use the entire screen to scrub.
Oh, really?
Instead of just like the little notch at the bottom that you can use to scrub around, like anywhere you tap, it won't just scrub. It'll go to that part. Like I can't even explain it. Like you'll like tap on it and it will go all the way to the beginning of the episode because you kind of touch to the left part of the phone.
It just sounds obnoxious more than anything.
It happens anywhere. Sometimes you'll tap on it to bring up the pause thing and you'll accidentally swipe it and you'll have to like, you don't know where you were at, so you'll have to scrub around again until you find it. And like Netflix has this really great thing where if you scrub around, it shows like a thumbnail of the part that you're looking at, so you know like, oh, this is where I was at. But Hulu doesn't really do that. When you scrub it, it doesn't show you previews of anything, so you have to like look at the timestamp and see where it's like, it is absolutely asinine. I cannot believe what they were thinking. And I hate it, the end. But it sucks because I watch a lot of Hulu shows now because Netflix has been taking a lot of stuff off.
Yeah, I feel like Netflix
Sunny
is just going through an eternal purge. Like,
well, that like Fox has been taking a ton of stuff off. I think Arrested Development's probably going to get taken off soon, which sucks because that's one of my favorite shows. Sunny got taken off. Futurama is incomplete on Netflix, but it's complete on Hulu. South Park, I think, it might not be on Netflix anymore, but it's only on Hulu.
I feel like there's just some like sort of crazy obsession with attempting to streamline everything, but in doing so, you just make that work. You just make it worse.
But is it streamlining? Because they're moving everything to a different platform. Like, it's the opposite of streamlining because everybody has their own subsidiaries now, so they want to move all their stuff to their own product. And now there's not one place that you can watch everything, which sucks because streaming should be like you can watch a bunch of stuff, but you go to Netflix and there's nothing to watch that's really good as far as like movies are concerned, at least.
You know, the last thing I watched on Netflix that I liked was Stranger Things.
I didn't watch Stranger Things.
That was
Dylan talked me out of it.
That was the last thing on Netflix that I've seen that I liked.
Was it what's good about Stranger Things? Dylan really took it like you hated it. I know Cam likes it.
Stranger Things, I thought it was a really cool, interesting, like, it's got a really good concept to it. It's sort of, well, I guess the whole parallel world thing is kind of overdone. But, like...
Is that what it is?
Yes and no. Think of it as, like... I don't want to spoil anything, but, like, basically there's, like, this strange lab, small little town. It's a small town, it's away from it. But, like, inside this lab they have, like, children, or, like, there's, like, a girl with special sort of psychic abilities, but she has to be able to be focused.
That's why you like it.
And a lot of the time
it's got Earthbound in it.
But like they got to be
it's
in
got
like,
Earthbound.
really, really like kind of crazy circumstances to be able to use it the way that she needs to. And this lab is trying to use her to like spy on the Soviets because it's in the 80s. It kind of takes place during like the Cold War. So like they're trying to use it to like spy on trying to use her to spy on the Soviets or whatever.
Okay. I
haven't seen the first season for a while, so my memory is a little fuzzy, but let's hear. Basically, it turns out, like, there's, in the medium that she's using to spy on the Soviets is through, like, an empty dimension that's referred to as the Upside Down, which, think of it as just, like a decrepit, rundown version of our world that's ghastly and poisonous, and there's, like, demons and shit there. Like, that's the medium that she was going through to contact the Soviets. But, like, eventually the world just kind of, like, portals open from the Upside Down into the world, but not as, like... I don't know. I'm really bad at explaining things, and I'm making this sound really bad. I think you should watch it yourself and kind of make a judgment on it.
I probably will. Have you seen Black Mirror? That's a good Netflix show.
Black Mirror?
Yeah.
I haven't. See, the thing is, like... I don't know. Like, I'm not doing a good job of explaining it. And Dylan obviously took a few cracks at it. I think you should watch it and determine what you think of it.
Okay, I probably will, because Cam likes it, and the good thing about Cam and I being, like, best friends in the whole wide world is we got very similar tastes and stuff, and we usually like the same things, so I probably will like it if Cam likes it.
Yeah, definitely take a look at it. Like, I could see you really liking it.
You should watch Black Mirror. In the first episode of Black Mirror... Wait, I don't know if I want to spoil this, because the premise of the first episode of Black Mirror is pretty great, but... God, can we talk about it?
Go for it.
Okay, so this is spoilers for the first episode of Black Mirror. Do you want it to be spoiled personally? Do you mind?
No, go for it.
Okay, so trying to remember exactly what happens. The short summation of it is the Prime Minister of England gets sent a tape, and it's the daughter of the Queen, I believe. And she's saying that she's being held ransom, and in order for her to be set free, her captors are demanding that the Prime Minister fucks a pig on live television and broadcasts it to everybody. Yeah. So the episode, that's the beginning, and the whole episode is basically like they're having a ton of headaches about it, and the prime minister's freaking out because he doesn't want to do it. So some of the stuff that they do to kind of stop it from happening is like they have like a body double come in, like he's like this porno guy, and he comes in and he's like he's gonna act it out, and then they're gonna CG the prime minister's head on top of it, and then that way the prime minister won't actually have to fuck a pig, but everyone will think that he is, so the captors will set her free.
So is this show
and like they did
satirical? Like, what is it like?
It's heavily satirical, but it's a drama, so it's like it takes itself seriously.
Oh Lord!
So like it makes it disturbing to watch. It's absolutely great. And this is just the first episode too. And I'm spoiling it for you because it's kind of an outlier, because the show in general is kind of like it's about sci-fi. It's kind of sci-fi-esque, and the first episode doesn't really go into that at all. But the first episode is still fantastic. So that's just one of the things that they try to do, like, but that doesn't work because the captors find out about it through like social media. So they send like a thumb or like a finger or something to the prime minister, and so he gets it, and he's just like, well, I'm just gonna have to do this now. So they set it all up, dude. And can I just go? I can spoil the whole thing, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, spoilers. They like set the whole thing up. They make it like illegal for you to view the television at that time. They're like, everybody's like, it's against the law to look at the TV when this is happening. And they emit like a high frequency noise over the television so that it's like it's really annoying to watch or something, but everybody watches it anyway. And he goes in there and he fucking does it. He takes off his pants and he has sex with the pig, and like everybody's watching. Yeah. And he's like, it's like so freaking, it's terrifying to watch because he's just like crying and shit. And like he does it, and like the princess gets set free, but you find out that she was set free like an hour before he actually did it. So the prime minister finds out that he fucked a live pig on television, and everybody saw, and and then he finds out that the princess was released before he actually did the deed, and he's like really distraught.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
And the episode ends with like, oh, it's so fucked up, dude. The episode ends like he's like has like a really high approval rating like 4 years later or something. It's like a few years later. It's like way later into his campaign, and he has like a really high approval rating, and he's like playing some soccer with some kids or something. But he like his wife is still with him and everything, but he goes like to the back and he's alone with his wife, and his wife just walks away from him and looks at him like he's disgusting, and that's how the episode ends. It's wild, and
sounds like an interesting show.
It's great. None of the episodes are on that level of fucked up, but they are all fucked up in some way. Like they're all like, most of them are about technology. In fact, all of them are except for except for the first one. Like there's one where people have implants that they can view every single thing that they've seen. Like they can rewind it and watch it. And I won't spoil this episode because this is a really interesting one, but basically this dude and his wife are having some problems because he's basically he's rewinding his memories, and he keeps watching his wife look at this guy, and like he basically falls down this whole hole of paranoia because he thinks that his wife is cheating on him, and he is just he's using his implant as a conduit to be more and more paranoid about it because he can just relive watching his wife act strange, and he dwells on it, and that's a terrific episode. Ooh. But I won't spoil that one.
That's creepy.
How did I do explaining that one?
I'm viewing the page on it for Netflix right now.
I would, for everybody listening, I would definitely watch that show. And I don't feel too bad about spoiling the first episode, because the first episode got spoiled for me too, and I think it does for everybody, because everybody talks about it and then says, dude, you gotta watch this show. So that's basically me doing what everyone else has been doing.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check this out. There was a anthology that I watched for I think it's called VHS.
Okay.
It's like
is that on Netflix?
I don't think so. It's on Amazon, but I'm not sure. But it's called VHS. It's VHS 2. That's the one I watched. It's like a anthology horror film. So like it's got like the whole thing about it is it's supposed to be like these are tapes that have been found, you know, that have horror footage on them. Of, like,
it's a found tapes movie. Okay.
Yeah. Like, there's, like, a greater subplot where it's, like, it's these two detectives who go into this house of a guy who's, like, gone missing or something, and they just find all these bizarre tapes in his house, and, like, they're watching it. It's pretty interesting.
That sounds like a fun movie. Found tapes movies are pretty hit and miss for me, because, like, with found tapes movies, they're always, like, shaking the fucking camera like crazy, like, holy shit, what the fuck? And it's like, you get a little nauseous watching it and a little bit annoyed.
Yeah. I thought it was fine. Like, I'm a pussy when it comes to jump scares, so...
Yeah, I don't like jump scares. They're pretty cheap, in my opinion. Did
few
you
of
ever
those.
see... You saw
I
Get
feel
Out,
like
right?
A jump scare is just filler for horror. Like...
Yeah. Even, like, It was a good movie, but it had jump scares. You know, I wouldn't watch it again. I thought it was a good film, but I don't know if I'd revisit it.
Well, the thing with jump scares, like, it's just such a dumb stand-in for, like, actual horror value. Because, like, you can do a jump scare with just about anything. Like, you can have it be, like, a really suspenseful moment where a character's, like, waiting for something to happen. And the jump scare can be, like, a supporting character coming in and be like, hey, you okay? Like...
The interesting thing about jump scares, even out of film, is that, like, they don't even have to contextually make sense. Because somebody could just walk up to you and you don't know that they're there. And they go, whoa! And you go, oh, shit! Because... Oh, I keep sliding the mic. Sorry. Because, like... It scares you. People jumping out at you frightens people. So I don't think that putting that into a horror movie is thematically okay, because you're supposed to be kind of paying attention to the story and how psychologically it can be unsettling. And jump scares is just like, it feels very cheap to just like take advantage of a very basic primal instinct in order to make you feel like you're scared, because... Yeah. It should depend on the story and what's happening, whether or not you're scared.
I was gonna
like
say,
with Get Out.
Like... Oh, no, go on.
No, sorry, I'll let you finish. I was just gonna say with Get Out, it's very like it's tense the whole time because you don't know what's happening, and I don't want to spoil Get Out for those watching or listening. Unless I say
Get Out,
spoilers,
that is a
go
fantastic
see it.
movie. But
that's a good horror movie.
I feel like a lot of people are too quick to dismiss a lot of horror films because they're, quote, not scary, unquote. But it's like, isn't the point of horror supposed to be, like, psychological? Like, it's supposed to be unsettling, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, if you kind of just base your movie around jump scare value, I feel like that's kind of a bad assessment of what a horror film is.
I think that being creeped out or being generally uncomfortable are great feelings when you're watching a movie, not necessarily just if it's horror.
Yeah, like being unsettled.
Yeah, because that's basically what Black Mirror is. Because Black Mirror, the credits roll on every single episode, and you're like, "Whoa, that was intense!" Like you need to freaking you need to take a drink after watching those episodes, like just a swig of water, because it makes you so tense. A lot of people talk about how they're like mentally fucked up for weeks after watching Black Mirror, but I think that's a little intense. Basically, just like any medium where you're affected by it is good. And with horror movies, if it's a jump scare, you're being affected, but that's so it's so easy to do that. Like there isn't a whole lot of build up there. It doesn't depend on the characters or the story. It could be a really shitty movie and you could still be like scared by it, which is why I hate jump scares and most horror flicks and why I'm turned off by a lot of them. But you're right, there are a lot of good ones.
So like I said, it's a very cheap stand-in for getting actual I guess an emotional response from the audience. Like it's a very cheap stand-in. Dumb. I feel like they're overused.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
That and I fucking hate them with a burning, fiery passion. But
when you can anticipate them, it's obviously not going to scare you. So
I can anticipate them and I can tell like, hey, one's coming, but they still always catch me off guard. Like
yeah,
I don't know what it. They just do. But
well. We've been going out for about an hour. Do you want to cut it?
I was going to say, we've been going for about an hour, so...
Well, do you have another one in you? Because we could cut it here and then do another one.
I don't think I got it tonight.
Okay, that's fine.
Alrighty, well, thanks for listening to us ramble on about, who knows? It's a blur.
It started with Ratboy Genius, so...
Ratboy Genius, and we
Actually, this one was pretty, we didn't go off the rails at all, because we basically talked about... We talked about movies and TV the whole time, and we started with saying, remember when Ratboy Genius was in Gattaca, so I feel like, not that going off the rails is a bad thing, but all things considered, this is a pretty full circle kind of,
It was a pretty thematic episode.
just like movies.
Exactly. We had a meaningful discussion. But all right, we hope you guys
I think
enjoyed.
that was
and
an
we will
excellent
hopefully see you on the next one.
podcast. All right, peace.
Toodaloo.